Alright, what's up everybody, and welcome to another episode of Retro Fridays, the retro video show from Retro Game Night, I think is what we call it, from Gaming History 101. I am Fred Rojas, and this week we are going back to the Saturn, but not for Saturn games. This week we're actually going to be playing some games on the MSX, and there's a fantastic MSX collection on the Sega Saturn. It is unfortunately a Konami collection, which is not unfortunate because they're bad by any means. In fact, some of the more quality games on the MSX come from Konami. But the problem being is that it's only limited to one developer. This did come out in Japan only. This collection has all three of the MSX collections in one, which was a fantastic find at the Midwest Gaming Classic back in about 2009. So thank you guys over there for helping me out with this. While there is a lot of Japanese clearly on the screen, it's pretty easy to figure out what all these games are, and then you can play them. Now, as you're probably already seeing, there's a lot of ports here. There's a lot of games that also appeared on arcades or on the Nintendo and things like that. So we're going to just take a look at some of these, and I'm going to try to stay away from stuff like, like Gradius, it was called Nemesis originally. I'll play them, but, we kind of know what to expect. But this is accompanying the microcomputer podcast we did this week for British Microcomputers, and then I did an extra credit, a special episode on the MSX. And, of course, because it's, this is much like any other collection in that came out in America, like the Atari collections and stuff. This is just a collection for something that was particularly popular for the times, the 1980s in Japan. So we're going to check out this MSX collection. You'll kind of see some of the stuff I was talking about, where this sounds pretty cool, as I'm sure you can kind of tell. And this is just menu sound. This is not, I don't know if this is actual MSX sounds. And we'll get to see kind of some of the positives and negatives, some of the graphical positives and some of the scrolling negatives of this console. So anyway, without further ado, let's kick it off. I should also point out that while this Japanese collection is pretty expensive, the PlayStation ports are available on the Japanese PSN for a very cheap price. So, 600 yen a piece, and I think they were on sale for a while if you had Plus for like a temporary period of time, or the trial period of, you can get a trial period for 15 days, they're like 100 yen. So, I was able to get the PSN versions of all three of those for 300 yen, which is pretty good, but even at 1800 yen, you're talking 20 bucks for all three of these. A far cry from, I think I paid 40 or 50 for this, and, now it'll probably run you more like 100. So here's boxing. I'm the guy on the... I'm Ryu. The guy on the left. And I think I'm doing okay, although... this is not quite what I signed up for in terms of, like, Punch-Out style or anything like that. But it is interesting, and graphically speaking, I think it does better than most games at the time. This would have been 1985, 86. I'm definitely losing. And I'm down. Okay, let's see what I can do here. Oh, and I'm down again. Alright, so when you start thinking about your $50 MSX purchase, definitely Konami Boxing is one of the biggest reasons to want to own it. Alright. A little more of a basic game, but this is just to, get stuff ready and kind of show it off. Now we'll get into some more of the action-style games. Let's see what... Okay. I'm guessing I probably have to reset the console in order to get to the main menu, to be honest. So, let's see. Okay. Oh, right, we have to boot into... Some people asked me about this on the video. I don't know if I've addressed this already. The reason for the action replay is this is Japanese. The action replay does two things. It region frees your console, so even if you have a mod chip installed, you still need to find a way to make it region free. This is the way you do it. The other reason is... because it offers the RAM cart, which is required for some games, and I didn't want to have to worry about it. And last but not least, it has tons of saving capabilities. And if you play any games that save, if you don't have your button cell in there, which is like a little CR2032, you'll lose it when you turn off the console, so this allows you to back up your saves. It is kind of annoying because I have to copy back and forth, but, you know, what are you going to do? Anyway, okay, so this next game is Yi Kung Fu. The reason this is important is this game kind of emulates, well, not emulates. This game is responsible for what would be later viewed as like the Street Fighter games. This is a very early version of it. There we go. Got Wang. Just realized what I said there. Kind of like real Kung Fu. It's a point system based off of hits and in certain areas. But we can see, and the controls are kind of interesting. Because double up is jump, but regular up is this high kick. Oh no, it's up and forward. Okay. So this is kind of like, if you guys have ever heard of the Data East game, there's a Data East game called Karate Champ, where the moves are kind of dictated by different combinations on the joystick, which is also something that would be indicative of the Street Fighter series later on. Damn. Whenever I jump over Wang, it works to my... not to my benefit. Stage 2. Oh, so I immediately move on to Dao. Oh, and he's got fireballs. So you can already see, again, writing on the wall for what may eventually become Street Fighter stuff. Again, this is a little... it seems a little less complicated than Karate Champ, but with Karate Champ, it was even Stevens on your nemesis. Not so much the case here. Obviously, Tao has different moves than I do. He's able to do things like spit fireballs and whatnot, which put him at a tactical advantage, especially as he hits me in the crotch. But here we go. It's kind of a douchey thing to do, use fireballs, but I'm just jealous I don't have them. Aw, dude. Alright. And with that, it looks like I'm out. Okay, so the one big problem with this collection thus far... well, it's not a big problem, but one setback is obviously that you have to reset the console every time you want to play. Kind of stinks, but... you know, what are you going to do? But anyway, Yar Kung Fu... you know, I'd never played it until now. And again, you got to take this with a grain of salt that it comes with. There are a lot of games that, oh, great. And occasionally you do have issues loading it. So we're going to take a quick break while I get this reset, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, welcome back. Sorry about that. I have a mod chip installed, which the only headache with that is sometimes it has issues loading, and unfortunately it has issues loading legitimate games like this, because it really, at this point, once you install the mod chip, it doesn't care whether it's a backup or a legitimate game in there, it just tries to run them. And occasionally, because mine is a Generation 1 64-pin Saturn, which I know is getting a little inside baseball tack, it works part of the time. It works every time, it's just that I have some loading issues. Anyway, after that troubleshooting, I'm going to go through a couple of these and not actually play them, but talk about them. Road Fighter was an arcade game. There was actually a virtual console port of the MSX one in Japan. I do believe Microsoft Game Room had the original arcade game in there as well. Konami released that, and it was on the NES. Antarctic Adventures is a pretty interesting game. It's an early game where you play as a penguin that's running back and forth. Again, I can't load these up because then I have to restart the system. But what we are going to do is, right after this, we're going to go play Penguin Adventure, which is the sequel, and it was developed by Hideo Kojima in '86. I believe it's his first game. Obviously, Gradius, we know. Konami's Golf, there's billiards, things like that. Nightmare is a cool shmup, and I think that's what I'll play next once we play the other adventure. Twin Bee's a fantastic shmup, so is Gradius 2. There is a very interesting version of Salamander. There's the original Odious, which Odious is fantastic. And there's Time Pilot here. I think that's Puyo Puyo. And, and Populous. No, that's Pipples. My mistake. Let's see here. So, let's go back. Actually, I want to say that perhaps this is Penguin Adventure and definitely not Puyo Puyo. But let's find out real quick. Let me do some research real quick. So bear with me, guys. I don't want to pick the wrong game. So let's make sure we don't see it anywhere else. It could be that, but I doubt it. Let's see, okay. Thank you, Wikipedia. This is what you're useful for. So it looks like everything's listed in order. Konami Boxing, followed by Ping Pong, followed by Hyper Rally. Hyper Sports, Konami Golf, blah, 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 Road Fighter. Okay, it's not in order, but Penguin Adventure is in there. So let's get frisky, and I'm guessing because of the penguin there that this may be Penguin Adventure. Let's find out. There's the Konami logo. Looks like Penguin Adventure to me. Sure. I'm digging the soundtrack. Okay, much like Antarctic Adventure, you are still running. And up allows me to adjust the speed. Ah, okay. Get whatever you like. I don't have anything. Will you bet your fish? Sure. Woohoo! I don't know what that nets me. Okay. Well, then that's that. Interesting. Okay. It kind of has this feel of 3D World Runner. If you guys have ever seen that Square NES game. Interesting. Seems a little on the picky side. That's fine, I can handle picky. Ah! You can see the birthing of Metal Gear Solid, can't you? Or Metal Gear, sorry. And I've made it to the... It looks like the never-ending story... never-ending story sphinxes or whatever. Alright, I do have a long journey to go, though. 600 miles. Or feet, I don't know which one. In a forbidden cave. Starting to get used to the rhythm. I'm hoping I'm supposed to dodge and not grab. I bet I am supposed to grab those fish. Yeah. Yeah, those fish are how I can negotiate, I'm certain of it. Wow, but they really caused me to get hurt. I'm starting to see the finer points of the game design here. And I made it! Atreyu! The oracles, that's what it is. Hazel's, yeah, that's a happy penguin there. I'm digging the soundtrack, though. I'm actually pretty impressed with the smoothness of the scrolling here. My only guess is maybe the hardware components of the MSX made streaming vertical easier, better than horizontal, because as I'll show you with Gradius or Nemesis, it's very different when you get to that one. Woohoo, and I still made it! Oh, it's a boss. Whoa! That's not good. Don't know what I'm supposed to do here. I think I was just supposed to dodge forever. Okay, cool. It lets me continue. Sweet. I have to beat the level, but at least I can continue. I'm sure you can, but there's a lot of stuff going on that... It's one of those things that... Sorry, guys, I'm talking to my wife. It's one of those things that looks easier than it is because of the clunky controls. Like, you have to jump in advance. You're used to more responsive games, I guess is what I would say. Alright, forget the fish. Just going for it.
Let's say you're telling yourself not to be a fish.
Well, you have to. That's kind of the point because of the boss.
What the hell is that?
I don't know. It's a big blue T-Rex.
No. It's a turtle that mated with a dinosaur of some kind. That can breathe.
I've just started figuring out how to kill it. Damn. Please don't be a game over. Okay, cool. One more shot. This is so mean! Okay. Here we go, guys. I'm gonna do it this time. Feel confident. Let's go. Forget fish, forget everything. I'm just gonna go straight to the boss. But I'm sure some of you who have never played games this old before can kind of see how these 15-minute games became hour-long endeavors because all you did was sit around your house all day, every day, for 6 months because this was your game that you got for this holiday season. And just slowly but surely, at aggressively slow paces, you would just get better. And then much like my wife did just now, your mom or somebody would just walk in the room and go, "Oh, that looks easy, that looks easy, that's simple. I could do this, I bet I could beat this." And you're like, I don't know about that. But maybe they do, right? That was the other thing, was sometimes your mom would jump on this stupid machine and kick its ass, and she'd be like, "I was good at that." And you're like, "I hate you, Mom." Oh, man! No! I'm starting at a disadvantage. God damn it! Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, Hideo Kojima, you're killing me, Smalls. How did I never have this problem till now? Alright, well, one life it. This is it. And this is just the first boss. Imagine the tougher bosses. There we go. Peace out. Oh, I love that image. Oh, that was so worth it. Look at him dance. Look at him dance. We've got dancing penguins. Hells yeah. Stage 4, lives 0. Interesting. It was only a matter of time. Let's see if it'll let me continue. So this is an eventual game. This is like... It's like when you play Life Force with 2 people. It's like, yeah, you might be terrible at it, like I am at this, but there is an ending in sight. And the fish currency is interesting. Okay. Somewhat starting to figure out the timing. Don't screw up, don't screw up, don't screw up. Woohoo! I got to the Southern Oracle! I can see why this is so addictive. Maybe I can actually buy something at shop if I ever end up there. Oh man, it's an underwater level. The more I tap A, the higher I swim. Don't hit those. Gotcha. No, okay. I see how this is going to be a little bit of a problem. Oh, come on! That's a little picky, don't you guys think? Alright, I'll try it one more time, and then we'll probably call it, and then, maybe I'll show off the original Odious. Kind of see how that works out. Jesus. You hateful... And just as quick as we were getting along, I learned to hate Penguin Adventure. Alright, well, we're gonna call it there, guys. So this is gonna be kind of an instantaneous jump, but we're coming up on the back end, and we'll pick one more game. Alright, and we're back, and we've got it restarted, and now we're gonna jump into... I had said Odious and stuff like that. We'll go back to one of them. But let's talk about Nightmare. Now, Nightmare is a shmup. I used it on the MSX episode, and a lot of you liked the soundtrack. So let's see what the shmup's like. I've never tried it, and I didn't even honestly realize it was on this collection. So let's find out. And let's see if it demonstrates the scrolling problems of the MSX. Oh, very interesting. This reminds me of Dino Ricky. If you guys have never played The Adventures of Dino Ricky, it's kind of like this. It's like this vertical scrolling game. And I guess the discussion I had heard was how ingenious it was that they made everything black as part of an enemy so that a lot of the shadow effects and streaming effects that you see are kind of avoided. But I wanted to point out, do you see how everything's moving in kind of like a jittery forward motion? Okay, interesting power-up. What happens? Everything I touch just dies? Interesting. Wow, it even has like the stuff that appears out of nowhere by shooting it. It's very Dino Ricky. But do you see how it's kind of stuttery in how stuff appears? Freezes everything for 10 seconds. Interesting. Interesting power-ups. That stutter is because scrolling wasn't easy to perform on this console, and as a result, you get the effects you see. And I suck. And much like Dino Ricky, this game is very hard. Or at least it would be. Guess I'm invisible. Not invincible, but invisible. Wow. Got lucky there. Thought I was going to totally bite it. But yeah, this, like I said, this stuttering effect may be annoying, especially to modern gamers, but it was par for the course, and there was really no way around it on old microcomputers. I'm guessing a boss? Yeah, here we go. Wow. That's a freaky looking goblin princess or something. Oh. Game over. And that's that. Okay. Well, without further ado, that's that. I think it's only fair we should wrap this whole thing up with a little Odious, so we'll see you on the back end. Alright, what's up guys, and welcome to the final part of the MSX discussion on this week's Retro Game Night. This final game we're doing is Odious. The reason I picked it is it's a shmup much like Gradius. Obviously, its name comes from parody of Gradius. And it was only released in the UK and and Japan. We never got it in the US, so that's why you're probably not too familiar with it. But as you can see here, it's extremely similar to Gradius. It's very Japanese. It has the moai heads and all that fun stuff. The original, as you can see here, came out on the MSX, and again, it's very similar to Gradius, but what this starts to do is show you kind of the stuttery nature of shooters on especially the MSX, and how it was able to pull off scrolling, but it was almost kind of like a joke. It's not exactly what it's intended to do. Had to cut some corners. It's not the greatest animation. It's not the smoothest, but it can do it. And Odious is known in being the big joke parody thing for being very colorful. As you can see, all the enemies are like penguins and like happy bees, which I think are supposed to be from the Twin Bee series. But that nonetheless does not mean it's any easier at all. So there we go. There's a quick and easy game over. I don't even know what it's telling me other than I suck. But, oh, there's continues. How about that? So much like many other games on the MSX, persistence may get you through. I don't know what just happened there. But this is, first and foremost, supposed to be a one-life game. So you were supposed to beat it in a single life, and because I haven't, you know, obviously I sucked and died. Anyway, alright, well, this is going to wrap up this week's Retro Friday, so you can check all these games out either on the Japanese PSN store under the MSX collection. If you're feeling frisky and want to mess with a bunch of console ROMs and whatnot, you can definitely emulate it. Or this pricey but deluxe perfect package on the Saturn is known as the Konami Hardcore Hits or Gems MSX collection on the PS or on the Sega Saturn. And you can check us out at GamingHistory101.com. And so until next week, peace out.